So, today's video we're gonna talk about uh, my mango trees. And guess what? It is mango bloom season. That's right. So most of the trees are blooming. They're sending out blooms. Some are sending out leaf flushes. But I just wanted to go around, show you my mango trees. And also, we had a cold wave that came through. We had 3 days of cold temperatures. Temperatures dropped down into the low 30s, and in some places even into the 20s. I uncovered everything yesterday. You don't usually see the cold damage to a day or two later, so we will be going around and checking out the damage as well. Most of my trees I did put frost cloth on them this time around, um, so we'll check those out. All right, so you guys follow me along, and thanks for joining me here at Orlando Backyard Gardening. All right, guys, follow me. All right, so this here is my first tree on the lineup, and this is a honey. Hold it, let me just double check, but I believe this is the honey kiss. Yeah, honey kiss. And honey kiss is it's reported to be a slow grower. Um, I actually trimmed it back because I'm trying to get it shaped out in a particular way, and it doesn't want to pretty much cooperate because I tipped it and it only sent out one instead of a couple. But anyway, I have no flower buds as it looks like. These buds are probably going to be leaf flush. So nothing much going on with the honey kiss, but one good thing, this one was uncovered and there was no cold damage on this tree. Now this here is pretty much the south side. This is like southeast because my house is at an angle. So this is probably going to be your warmer side. This is where I have my bananas as well, which are all toasted. And this is pretty much every year they get toasty, but they'll be coming back. All right, so moving right along. Here's my second mango tree, and this one is a pretty recent addition. It's a Excalibur peach. I put this in the ground last summer, and it's got panicles. I mean, it's not a super small tree. I mean, I'm sure it's capable of holding a couple of fruits, so we'll see when the time comes whether or not it's gonna produce any fruit and whether or not I'm gonna let it hold. But that there's Excalibur peach. All right, moving right along. Let's see what we got coming up right now is our Pina Colada. And I don't have cold damage on this one. And even from the first cold wave back in December, this was one of the trees that did not get cold damage. So I guess it's protected in this area here. And let's see what we got. Okay, that there looks to be a flower panicle. And this one here is, I don't know, I think it's going to be a flower panicle. We'll see. There's some more buds here, and usually these bigger buds are usually flower panicles. So let's see. That there is Pina Colada. Alright, now this one here is my dwarf Hawaiian, and it did get hit pretty bad with the cold. These are from the last cold, that one night that we got real cold back in December, and it really messed this one up. I did go ahead and tip it. I know it's still a little early, but I chanced it. I took the tips that were here and I actually grafted them onto something else, to a couple seedlings that I have in the greenhouse to see if those will take. But I tipped it back and it's actually pushing out already. This one ain't wasting time, so hopefully we don't get any more cold, and those should be okay. This one I'm gonna hopefully shape it into a little bushier tree. So hopefully once these come out, it's gonna look a lot better in a few months. And there is one little panicle right there. right there. One little panicle. Okay, this tip here, I'm gonna have to take that off as well. I like to have my trees looking a little uniform. Okay, so that was your dwarf Hawaiian. And moving right along, y'all. Here's my little sugar loaf, which is pushing panicles as well. There's your panicles. This one definitely I will not let it hold any fruit. It's too small. But once it pushes those panicles, hopefully it's gonna give me some flush and branch out a little more. I want to try to really push this one and let it get a little growth on it. Alright, so this here is my poor sad looking Pickering, which was one that got hit by the cold back in December, and these are all from December. I had this one covered with frost cloth this time around, so I'm not seeing new damage. Actually, these may be new. The light brown ones like this is cold damage, and this may be some newer stuff, but I'm pretty much just seeing old stuff. This one has to be totally reshaped. I tipped these back in the summer, and then it shot all these new ones out, and it was looking beautiful. But now, since half the leaves have came off, I'm probably going to tip this one back down and let it re-bush. But I'm gonna let it throw out its panicles, let it do its thing, and see what happens. I got a graph here from last year. Now I have it bagged up. I don't know if you can see it, I'm sorry. It's still green, and it's actually got green on the tip. So this one's gonna be pushing out soon. This is a honey kiss graph that I have here. So it looks like it pretty much took, and it's just been sitting there waiting for the weather to warm up. So that one should be pushing out very soon. And this was one of my latest graphs. This is the one that I took off of the dwarf Hawaiian. Now this bagging over the scions, this is something that I'm just doing now. It's not something that I usually do, but just because of the cold, I have the bag here to kind of give it a greenhouse effect and help it a little more. Now it's pushing. I mean, I see buds on it, but it's still too early to tell. It's not black yet, so we'll see. I usually don't graph it this time, but I am trying to see if it's a good time to graph when the trees are pushing, when they're full of juices. So that's an experiment. And this here is my Fairchild. Now this Fairchild did experience cold damage from back in December. I am not seeing this one was covered with the frost cloth this time around, so I'm not seeing any new damage. And as you can see, it's got panicles coming, and this is the first year that this tree has bloomed for me. Sorry, I'm just checking a text. This is the first year that this tree has bloomed for me. It's been, I think, about 3 years in the ground, and I've moved it a couple times, so I gave it a break, and I was seeing what it was going to do for this year, and lo and behold, it came through. So it's got panicles. Let me see if it produces any fruit this year. That is the Fairchild. Okay, moving right along. Oops, I missed my little gem. So small. This is a new addition. I just put it in last summer, or late in fall actually, and it did get cold damage from back in December. I did have frost cloth on it this time around, so no new damage. But let's see. This doesn't look like flower blooms. Looks like we have flush going on here, leaf flush, which is good. This is a small tree, so I want to see if I can get growth on that one rather than fruit. And moving right along, folks. Alright, this here is my lemon meringue. Now, it got damaged from back in December when we got that first cold front. I had frost cloth on it this time, and I'm not seeing anything new. But as for panicles, I see one little small panicle right there trying to push out. There's another one right there. And then on my other branches, not much going on. Now this lemon meringue, it's been a little weird for me since I got it. I mean, the first time it just sat, and then dropped all those leaves and gave me flush. And that's what you're looking at here. This was the flush from that time that it dropped everything. So it's weird. It looks like it's happy in this spot, so let's see what goes on. Hopefully it'll take hold and do good there. Alright, so moving right along, let's not skip our cotton candy. And cotton candy is a little slow, but it's getting there. I got little buds popping out. This is probably going to be the biggest one, and that's a panicle, flower panicle right there. And besides that, not much going on, just buds are pushing, but it looks like it's going to have flower panicles a little late. It'll probably be another month before those panicles pop out. Okay, and that's cotton candy. Alright, let's see what else we got up here. Oh, and this is the beauty. This here is my number one for this season. This is the one that has started first, and it's full of panicles. So let's see if hopefully we get some fruit. And this one is the ice cream mango. I'm sure a lot of y'all recognize the shape of this tree, the shape of the leaves. This is a tree that is very easily recognized. So there you go. And this thing is loaded with panicles. I'm hoping to get some fruit off of it. I don't know how many it's gonna hold, but let's see. I'll keep you guys updated. Alright, so that is ice cream mango. And let's see, I don't have any more up here, so let's go down and check out. Just follow me, and we will check out my Phoenix mango, which is also full of blooms. That's right, my Phoenix is going all out this year. Last year it gave me a couple panicles, and I actually did get one fruit from it, one good fruit. So I'm looking forward to having a lot more this year. It's full of blooms. Every tip has blooms. And this is my Phoenix, which died back, which was killed back, well, almost killed back in 2017, I believe, when we had that real bad cold that went down to 26 in my yard. That one killed, I think, about 9 or 10 of my trees. And this is what happened. They pretty much got killed back to the graft, but it actually grew back. So I got a double trunk, and actually the bottom, the rootstock, is pretty thick. But that's what I got. Alright. And I actually grafted onto this one. I don't remember what the graft was because stupid me did not label it. I think it's an Edward, or it might be an orange essence, which is what I'm hoping, because I lost my orange essence and I remember that I was gonna graft it somewhere just to make sure that I would have a backup. So I'm hoping that this here graft, it was a side cleft graft, I know, the weird one, and it seems, I'm sorry, I can't get this freaking thing. It seems like my weird grafts are the ones that take. So this was a side cleft graft, sent out a branch, which is now flowering. So hopefully it'll give me fruit or something so I can kind of recognize which one it is. But I know it's either going to be Edward or orange essence, so it's one of those two. And I'm gonna see if I might, depending on what this, I'm sorry, I'm almost gonna bust my booty here, y'all. Okay, so depending on what this branch does, I might tip it back. If it doesn't produce anything, I might tip it back here to get a branch out, and hopefully it'll give me more branches on these nodes here, which are, I mean, they have the little green tips like they want to push, and hopefully they will push without me having to do anything. But if not, I might cut this one and hopefully get it a branch out this way. Out. We'll see. Okay, and these here are more of those dwarf Hawaiian grafts which I did. I'm not sure if the ones on this tree are doing anything, but it's still early to tell. They're not black yet, so we will see. You know, it's not really the right time to be doing this, but it's all about experimentation, y'all. Testing 1, 2, 3, and test.
So I'm trying to utilize the juices that are flowing right now in the tree, and hopefully that might work. They're still green, so there's still a possibility. Alright, so that here is the Phoenix. It has been growing beautifully since last summer. I mean, it's just shot out a whole brand spanking new canopy this last year. So here's the next one, moving right along. This was a new addition, planted back in the summer, and it's got panicles. This one here is my Edward, which is what I'm thinking that graft is, but we'll see. We'll see if it fruits. We can tell. Let me switch around here. This here is my Super Julie, which is another new addition. I just planted this one back in fall, so hopefully I'm gonna give it a little TLC. I want to get a little more green. It looks like it needs a little more nutrients. It does have panicles, as you can see, and this one was not covered, so it didn't get cold damage that I can see. This is old, so I don't think this was new. This might be some old damage from the last time, but it did very well with the cold. Okay, and this is a Pickering, my second Pickering. This one did not get the cold damage that the other one did. Of course, this one is a little lower, so being lower to the ground, you're gonna have less wind damage, cold wind damage. And it does have panicles. This one did produce, I believe it was I let it hold 4 or 5 fruit last year. This year I'm gonna probably not let it hold any fruit because I want to get some growth on it. I want it to grow rather than spend energy on fruit. So that's my second Pickering there. I have a bunch of seedlings as well, and the seedlings are for grafting purposes in the future. So I have seedlings as well. Alright, let's move right along. I have creme brulee, or creme brulee. Alright, this is also another new addition. This one I put in the ground in the fall, and we have these big buds. The big buds are usually going to be panicles, so we will see. It's still early to tell. They could turn out to be leaf flush, but we will see. I mean, it's a small tree, so I am actually hoping that it's going to be leaf flush rather than panicles. On small trees like this, I would rather get growth than fruit. This is another seedling that I planted here in the ground, and I'm just letting it grow. The seedlings, I should say that seedlings that are planted in the ground are actually more cold hardy than grafted versions. I guess because they're more established, their root systems are more established. That's just something that I have noticed. So I'm thinking if you can get seedling and top work it, you're probably going to be better off than actually planting a grafted tree that's in a container. Alright y'all, so we're moving right along. This here is my pineapple pleasure. There she is, pineapple pleasure. And it did get cold damage back in December. This is the old stuff. And this one was covered. But it looks like I have a little bit of new cold damage because I don't think this was here. I don't remember it having all of these leaves like this. So I think this one did get some cold. Yeah, this definitely wasn't like this. And yesterday I didn't see it, but today I am seeing it. So this is new cold damage that this one got. So this one is a little more sensitive. But then it might just be due to the fact that this is the north side, and my north side has no canopy, has no protection whatsoever. So when those north winds, that corner is actually north. So the winds usually come northwest, so they come straight down. And as you can see, I am elevated. I'm on a hill, which doesn't help. So there's no tree canopy, no covering over this side. So what I have done, I have planted trees over here, which hopefully will grow and eventually provide some covering, but it's going to be a while till that stuff grows. That was something that I didn't think of years back. I wish I would have thought of that, but at that time I really didn't know anything. So we're just gonna have to wait it out, let those grow, and in the meantime keep everything covered with frost cloth. So here we go. You got panicles. Now the panicles look like they may have gotten a little bit of cold damage, so I don't know what's gonna go on with this one. I mean, it's got panicles that are just pushing, so we'll see what happens with this one. And on this tree I did put some grafts. Here's one right there. That is a coconut cream graft, and it's pushing. It's still green, but we'll see if that's an actual take, or the buds are just pushing using the energy in that scion. This is another one here, which is not doing nothing, not doing much, but it's still green. So as long as it's green, there's always hope. And that came from the coconut cream, which is my other tree that's over here. This one did get a lot of damage back in December. And like I said, it's another one on my north side. So it gets those cold winds, that cold, it gets it straight on. And this one was covered this time around. So I don't see any new damage, which is good. But because of the old damage, it really pretty much messed up the canopy that I was forming. So that's why I took off these tips. These are the tips that I grafted. I took them off and I grafted them in different spots. I actually have another graft on my Valkyrie, which I'm going to show you next. But what I'm probably going to do with this one, once I see what it does, I'm going to tip this one and this other tip. I'm just waiting to see if they're going to flower or what they're going to do. And I'll tip those back, and we'll just basically start all over with the canopy forming on this tree. But now for future reference, I know that's my variegated pink lemon for the flowers. There's a bee there pollinating it. Alright, so moving right along. This is my Valkyrie, another tree that I have on this northwest outside getting hit with the cold. Now it did get a little damage back in December, but not much. But it did get some damage, so this is damage from December. I did have the frost cloth on this time around, so I'm not really seeing much damage from this last cold front, which is good. But like I said, you know, you live and you learn. Now I know that from now on I'm gonna have to put the frost cloths on my trees here, because I have thermometers, and I realized that my temperatures back here in my yard run about 5 degrees lower than what the newscasters or the weather apps are saying. So, and I know that I am not protected from winds back here, so it's basically my whole yard. There's nobody that has big canopies around me. I did plant this big tree here to provide shade and a little bit of cover, but I put that in the center of my yard instead of putting it on this side, because I didn't know any better. I might plant a couple more of those by the fence line, since they do grow fast. That is the Royal Ponciano. They do grow fast, and they do provide nice cover. So that might be something I might be doing in the future. Anyway, moving right along. I'm sorry. This is the Valkyrie. There are panicles. A lot of the panicles are just now popping up, so they're young. Some of them did get some cold burn. This one here, you see the dark coloring on them. That's usually indicative of damage. Or if you see them toasty brown, that's another sign. So we'll see. We'll have to see what this tree produces in terms of panicles. Moving right along, this is my last tree. Now this one I did cover. I didn't put frost cloth because I ran out. I put some other material on it, which was not really rated for cold, but this one did get damaged. This is new. This is new damage. It didn't have this damage before, so I'm wondering if that material that I put on it was worse than just leaving it uncovered. But I won't use that material again. I'll make sure I have enough frost cloth. So in here I got all these buds shooting up. I'm sorry, this camera's kind of off. I got all these buds here, and I can't tell. I can't tell they're going to be flush or they're going to be panicles. But I would rather have growth on this one. This is a small tree. This is Venus. Venus is this one. It's a small tree, so I would rather have growth instead of panicles pushing. So let's see. It looks like some of it got damaged, though. I can't wait till this cold is over and we can move on, and I can get these trees healed. Alright, y'all, so that was it. You saw all my trees and the damage that I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And once again, if you like the videos, please subscribe. I do appreciate my viewers. And you guys have yourself a good day. This is Orlando Backyard Gardening, signing off. Bye.